Hello, good day. We're going to do, well, a shave test today actually. It's not a face off. I've got a new keeper in the form of, come in this little box. Sorry. Always forget to like show the gubbins. It's got a little Klas thing down there, and inside on the top bit like the velvet. Not sure that is velvet. Might be. It's got the Klas and it reads Klas Tornblom, sorry, X-ray mark Sweden, Eccles tuner, and it come with a JA Hellberg razor that I kind of call rattler grind. Got the old barber's notch. It's in really good condition actually. Like I ain't done nothing to it, like nothing. I've not polished it in any manner. It says Sweden 25 on the back. Yeah, I forgot that. I'm sure I've had another one of these before, you know. But anyway, yeah. So all I've done is I restored a new, well, not new strop, but like over 100-year-old strop with that's got like a horse shell hide. Put new leather on it, new handle, kept the linen strop, kept obviously the horse hide, and all I've done is I've given it a real good strop on both the linen and the horse, and it's kind of popping hair, a bit random I must say, along it. So it's definitely good. I'm going to put it on stones like that one because it's not popping hair like I'd like it. But this is my new keeper. It is a Klas Tornblom. Probably not saying that quite right. But, well over a year ago when I started my little eBay thing, I sold a razor by FW Soldering, and if you go back, well, I think it's over a year now, on my YouTube videos you can see like a little turntable thing of it. It's a bit rudimentary because it was done with my camera, I think that one. Sorry, my phone. And I shaved with it as well, like with the Sony camcorder. And I regretted selling it before I'd even bloody sold it, if you know what I mean. And yeah, it was a mistake. Let's put it that way. But it was similar to this kind of grind. It was a little bit bigger than this, and it was more heavier set, we call it. And it weren't as fancy. Like it didn't have this little nick and stuff that Klas Tornblom are known for. Well, when I say known for, I mean by me. Because I don't really see much talk about them as the fancier side of Eccles tuner, and to me they certainly are. Like they definitely embraced, like, let's make the prettiest razor in Sweden. Because out of all of them, well, it's actually between FW Soldering and I think Klas. So even like the detail, I don't know if you're going to pick it up, it's really hard to get but even the detail on the very tip of like the top of the spine and the toe and everything, there's like multiple angles joining. It's a really difficult thing to do, like, and get it all symmetrical and everything, and you know, orderly. It's a hard thing to do, especially when you consider like it was done by hand. Do you know what I mean? They didn't have, well, they might have had a jig of some sorts, but you know, predominantly it was done by hand. Really, really fine grind as well. Like, again, I'll try and show you the grind. It's really, really fine. Really is. But you get away with such a fine grind with such a still depth of the width of the razor, I think, because they use Swedish steel. And this one is, well, like I said, I called it a rattler grind. Oh, and he caught myself there. But again, this one's not as, let's try and do it, not quite as thin as a grind, but still, Hellbergs are just great razors, man. So I won't be shaving with a Hellberg today. I'll be shaving with the Mysore Sandalwood soap, vintage soap that I managed to get Nos. Still had the little plastic sleeve on top, and my Chubby 2 synthetic. As you can see, I've got a fair amount of gruff. Hang on, I'm going to fill up my sink. Got a fair amount of gruff. Ain't been lazy, just been busy. I like to fit the shaves in when I can, be relaxed. And I've just been busy with life. I've been trying to fit in the leathercraft as well, like, so I restored that strop, like I said. And it's one of the best horse hides I've like found, like in terms of vintage wise. And also it's from the 1950s barber strop lot that I bought. Had like multiple straight razors, some of them from France. Had a coticle, sorry, I had 3 coticles. Had a convex one, had sort of like this little weird shaped one that I couldn't figure out. And then he had like a great big clonking one with a lot of white stuff still left, like good depth for that. And then he had one of them, I think they're Wasibas. And then he had 2 strops. He had like the wooden, just like a flat wood side that he used, that ham-on pair. So it does suggest like he was a French dude, but his name wasn't French. But, you know, could have been trained by somebody French. I had some receipts from his barber association or hair cutting, so it was something to do with that anyway. It was interesting reading it. I've still got it somewhere. So yeah, that buy was kind of like to replace my mistake. Seriously, if I could figure out how to contact that dude, I would. And I'd give him nearly double the money back, just to shut my conscience up. Thankfully I've not sold any razors since then that I've really regretted, like, and I wouldn't now either, because if you get that inkling of like, oh no, don't pass that on, you know, because I actually enjoy passing my razors on, like I really genuinely do enjoy passing them on. You know, some of the really good ones I've had, like that, you know, I had Wade and Butcher FBU for barber's use, like, and just a tremendous razor, like even just to hold it, it's like wow. But you know, I bought it with the intention of learning forms of restoration, and I wanted to give it to somebody else. And the person who bought it, he was a Chinese fella who was studying in the UK. And if you see this dude, hello. And he was over the moon. Like seriously, he was over the moon. He couldn't quite believe that he'd got such a nice razor in his hands and truly shave ready and all that. And yeah, he loved it. So that's what it's about, isn't it? Well, it's for me anyway. Can't even think how many days I've got. It's got to be 6. I have got some other razor news. Yesterday I managed to kind of accidentally come across one of my forever keepers. One of my most favouriteest Sheffield makers is Geo Wolstenholme. He used to have an E on the end of that before he took the E off. Because I've sharpened, honed, whatever way you want to call it, I don't know, about 5 of his razors, and every single one has been really good steel, like super tough. One of his razors was the first one that when I was doing it on the Shapton Pro 2000, I kind of realised that that stone was sort of like the telltale tit of stones that I had. So, you know, if it's got really good steel, the 2000 won't really remove too much and it start polishing. And that one of them was the first razor that made me realise about that stone kind of thing. So that stone to me is like a really good gauge and judge of the quality of steel in a way, like especially razor steel, like, you know. So yeah, long and short of it, I've managed to nab a shoulderless IXL Geo Wolstenholme, but I'm not counting my kippers yet because I ain't got it in my hand. So, you know, it kept me awake last night. That's how sort of excited I was. Literally kept me awake for easily an hour because I won it late at night. Some dude listed, I don't know, 12, 15 razors. There was a couple of other really fancy ones in there, and I was going to message him saying, oh, can you combine the postage sort of thing, and then I just dilly-dallied for 5-10 minutes, and the other one had sold, and 4 or 5 of the others had sold as well, because he'd listed them for really good prices. Like this razor I've got coming, like if I've restored it in the way I'm going to restore it, it'd easily turn into like a few £100 razor, because they're genuinely quite a rare razor. But I won't be selling it. She's mine. She'd be all mine. Yes, lovely shoulderless Sheffield, which I ain't got many of, you see. It's like I've not actually got that many what I call really decent Sheffield razors, even though I come from England. But we had some funny goings on, you see. A lot of the companies in Sheffield, they slowly were getting into forms of money trouble and stuff, and you know, basically America, USA turned around to a lot of these Sheffield companies and said, well, we can bail you out a bit with these razors if you start making real big ones. So they did. That's why Wade and Butcher made so many big razors. They kind of, well, I didn't get told to, but big market, you see. Soap's acting a bit different now. See if we can activate that a little bit more. It's acting a little bit different because I've got a lot more stubble. I'm not 100% sure this razor is going to shave brilliantly. So I did like just a little test for me, like little learning curve thing. So I got it and I looked under the microscope and I could see the edge was decent. It had definitely been stropped a lot with pasted strops, like whatever paste they were using, because it was quite convex, quite shiny. Had a few sort of nicks, had a few rolls on the edge, like the very apex of the bevel, and but it looked decent on the whole. So I thought, right, well, let's get the Mejiro out, get my Jnat out, and give it a couple of sessions on that. So I went a couple of sessions with the Mejiro from not really a thick slurry, but a slurry to no slurry. I did that twice, and then I stropped it on my low draw fast horse strop that I keep downstairs that I did a video a couple of weeks ago with, and basically it was popping air. So I was like, right, well, let's try this. So I've done nothing to it other than that. I ain't polished it or anything. Well, actually the only thing I have done is I've damaged it. So because this is one of my keepers, I'm taking the scales off because they're celluloid, and I can't stand celluloid. Like not just because of the rot. Can't stand the smell or anything. It does me absolute tits in. Some of them absolutely stink. Yeah, and this one stinks, especially when it gets wet and warm. It's horrible. Don't like it. I don't care about keeping it original because it's my razor. Probably until I die. I can't shave anymore with it. England football team are in a final tomorrow. You'd have never believed it. 2 weeks ago. Seriously. Never, ever, ever. They were playing crap. But now they're playing as a team. Oh, let's get in my ear hairs. Do you see a massive one over this side? Did you get it? I think it did. Right. Let's have a little look-see. Well, for something that's been sat around somewhere for a long time and just had a couple of goes on the Mejiro, the Gorda, and then the Jnat, well, parred with the Jnat, sorry. She's shaving lovely. All the way down to the hill. I believe my new Geo Walls, well, it's called George, sorry, George Walton Home IXL is where I think it is, well, like a heavy gauge half hollow, which is my favourite grind. Not because it outperforms all the other ones, it's just one I prefer, like in terms of weight. And but if you've never had one of these, meaning if you've never had one of these kind of rattlers, especially a Swedish rattler, I must say. I've had a few Sheffields as well though, they're just awesome. But you've got to remember, Sheffield was importing a tonnage, multiple big tonnage of Swedish ore. Right, I'm going to stop there though today. I've got stuff to do, and also it does need a bit of attention, but that's not tugging at all, that's not pulling at all, but I can just tell it needs a bit of work, which I expected, by the way. It's, you know, it's not, I just wanted to see, it's something I've never done before, so I just wanted to see, and it's almost like I'm trying to test the limitations of my Mejiro and my Jnat, because it's a hard Jnat, you see, so there is more limitations with the harder stones, you know what I mean. It's like, I can tell you now for nothing, what was classed as a level 4 Jnat would have probably honed that a little bit better than that, if you know what I mean, because it's just got a bit more, what's the word, room for manoeuvre, for sure. It's a good shave though, nice and tight, no tugging, but I can just tell we do better. Just spreading blood everywhere. It's not even a nick, it's a little weeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the scales on that, and then I'm going to take it down to the 5000 with a Mejiro slurry, because I've been reading you can use the Mejiros and the other Japanese slurry stones on, especially sort of like the ceramic. That's what I've been doing a bit of reading on. I've seen many a comment now from people that I kind of half trust. So yeah, I'm going to give that a whirl, take it down to the 5 with a bit of slurry, because I can see nicks on that, I can see imperfections that if I was honing a razor I wouldn't allow, if you know what I mean. I'd have took it back a stone. One's always got to remember though that when you get using a a microscope, that you're seeing way more than you need to be seeing. Like, so you can get really sort of a bit pedantic with it and, well, waste your time, frankly, because sometimes you just don't need to take it to certain levels of whatevers. Even though it's nice to, if you've got the time or the inclination. Not knocking other people either, it's up to them. Right, I'm going to clean my tools up. I'm going to strop that, dry it. I'm going to get on with our day. I'll see you later. Toodaloo.